Hello, everyone. Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. It's time for Taroscopes. I can hardly believe it. This is the Taroscopes for the sign of Aquarius. That is Aquarius Sun, Aquarius Moon, Aquarius Rising for the month of June 2023. Before we get to the reading, I want to talk a little astrology, Aquarius. Boy, Pluto has been in your sign for just a few months, and boy, has it shaken things up, just like you, Aquarius, always shaking things up. And so we do have Pluto in Aquarius until the 11th when it moves back into Capricorn. And so it is moving back into your 12th house, Aquarius. Um, and it'll be there for a little while. Then it comes back into Aquarius and then goes back into Capricorn just for, I think, just for a little bit, and then into Aquarius for the next 20 years. So we have plenty of time with Pluto in Aquarius, and it is already changed things, and it will continue to change things. So you, this conscious change that you're experiencing, will continue over the next few decades. So enjoy that, Aquarius. Now, your ruling planet, Uranus, at least the modern ruling planet, is in Taurus. It does make a conjunction. Uranus in Taurus makes a conjunction to Mercury in Taurus. Now, remember, Mercury is just out of its retrograde shadow, went out of its retrograde shadow on the 31st of May. And it was retrograde in Taurus. And for you, Aquarius, that is your home. And so there may have been some real challenges fixing things in your home or the like, or misunderstandings, miscommunications. That is finally sort of lightening up. Mercury will move into Gemini, which is your house of fun. So that's good. It's only going to be there, however, for like 2.5 weeks because Mercury's moving very quickly, but it does make a square to Saturn, the Mercury does, and sextiles to the Venus and to Mars, which are both right now in Leo. And so there will be challenges ahead. You'll see what you need to do, and then you'll have the opportunity to work with others to get it done. So it's not bad news. It's just the way it is, guys. Venus, speaking of Venus, Venus is moving into Leo. Now, generally, Venus spends about 3 weeks, sometimes 4 weeks in a sign, depending on how fast it's moving. But Venus is about ready to have a retrograde cycle. So where Venus is normally in an area of your chart for a little under a month, it's going to be there for 4 months. We have Venus retrograde in Leo. It's going to move all the way almost to the end of Leo before it backs up and goes over the last 15 degrees of Leo. So it goes from 0 to 29, it goes retrograde and goes all the way back to 13, and then it goes direct, and then it goes back over those 13 to 29 degrees of Leo. So look to see what's in your chart in that place. Now for you, Aquarius, the Leo is in your house of relationships. So there is this sort of Venus moving through your house of relationship is pretty nice, but there is this back and forth. And, Aquarius loves humanity, but sometimes it's the people they have trouble with, right? And these one-to-one relationships can be a bit challenging for you, especially with Leo, because you really have the energy of what's good for the collective is good for me. And Leo has the energy of what's good for me is good for me. And so there has to be a balance there. So you can't be selling the farm out from under yourself. You have to make sure you hold some for yourself, which isn't always necessarily your go-to. You're pretty humanitarian in that respect. But it is okay to hold some for yourself. And I think Venus and Leo is going to teach us all that. Also about self-care and the like. Now, if you look at your ruling planet, if you go by the classical ruler of Aquarius, we're looking at Saturn. Saturn is in Pisces. That is your second house. It is about to go retrograde as well. Saturn is as far into Pisces as it's going to be all year. at about 7 degrees of Pisces, and on the 17th, on the 17th, it just stations retrograde, so it's going to go backwards. It remains in Pisces the whole time, but it does go, I think, actually go all the way back to about 1 degree of Pisces, if I'm remembering correctly. Then it turns direct, and by the end of the year, it's back up to like 3.5 degrees of Pisces. So all this energy of Saturn and Pisces that's been going on since March, now we're going to have an opportunity to go over that. And Saturn and Pisces requires us to be compassionate with ourselves and others, to practice forgiveness. Saturn and Pisces helps us to decide what is real and what is not real. We can make our dreams come true with Saturn and Pisces, but we can also see that the dreams that we have are unrealistic and sometimes hurt us instead of help us. So we all sort of get to see what works and what doesn't work. And because Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac and Saturn is moving through this is in some ways the end of a 30-year cycle of Saturn going through the zodiac. And then once Saturn goes into Aries, which isn't going to happen, I think, till 2026, start a whole new cycle. So we have some stuff that we're still working out. And for you, it's around issues of self-worth and what's self-esteem and what is valuable, and your survival, right? Your survival. So you need to make sure you're taking care of yourself as well. Okay, what else is happening that I want to mention? Neptune is stationing retrograde as well as Saturn. But Neptune has been in that second house for a long time, since 2011. We don't really notice that quite as much as we do. And there is a new moon in Gemini. Gemini is your 9th house. That new moon in Gemini is square Neptune again. We have the full moon in Sag square Saturn in Pisces, and we have the new moon in Gemini squaring Neptune in Pisces. So we can't get away from the spiritual side of things. And, Aquarius, you're pretty scientific, and sometimes the spiritual side of things seems like mumbo jumbo or, woo-woo, but woo-woo counts too. So, and of course, Pluto is going back into Capricorn to sort of sweep out what still is there and needs to be swept out. And Capricorn can be abuse of power, so there's still some abuses of power that need to be cleaned out, and we can see it in the outer world, and maybe even in your own world, where either you have abused power or people have abused power over you. It is time to sweep that out and let it go, and allow yourself to start anew with sort of a new start, a brightness, a new bright start. Okay, that's what I want to say. I think if you want to know more about the astrology of the month, you can check out my Astrology and Kabbalah of June. That's going to probably come out tomorrow. I'm going to try to get all the tarot scopes out today. Today is June 1st. I'm a little behind because I was in Ireland for 10 days. No excuses. I had a great time, and I did do some videos if you want to check those out on my channel. But yeah, I think that's enough. The astrology, the Kabbalah, the numerology, and then the first week astrology will come out tomorrow. And then in successive weeks, you'll have the week ahead if you want to dive into the astrology a little bit deeper. Up to you. Okay, let us do some cards. Now, I'm going to be using a Haindl deck, Haindl. Maybe it's Haindl. Anyway, Haindl Tarot for your reading. So let's do a little shuffle here. And of course, you can claim this reading if it resonates for you. If it doesn't resonate for you, you can check it out later in the month. You might find that, oh yeah, that did resonate. But somebody out there is supposed to hear this reading. Somebody with us, with Aquarius, is out to hear this reading. And you can always share this. If you know an Aquarius and you think it sounds like something they need to know, I say share it with them. I would like to get to 10,000 subscribers. I always forget to ask what I want, for what I want. I have a South Node in Aquarius, so my natural tendency is to just do what's best for everyone. But my North Node is in Leo, so I have to, like, you know, I have to look at the number one. So if you can share my videos, that would be great. I think it's valuable information, and I think a lot of people maybe need to hear it. Okay, let's see what we have here. We have the Three of Wands, the Three of Wands. This is a great card. I love the Three of Wands. In this deck, it's called Virtue. In other decks, it's called the Birth of Light. This is a 2911 vibration, numerologically, and the 2911 is the vibration of light. And so this is about shining your light. This is about shining your light from the darkness, right? Shining your light from the darkness. Let's see what challenges that. The powerful, there's powerful forces that are maybe holding you back or holding the light back. This feels like Pluto in Aquarius to a certain extent, and this feels like Pluto in Capricorn, trying to hold on to power. Hold on to power. It is a challenge. It is a challenge, but eventually it moves on and we evolve. So it's not going to be a challenge forever. Underneath it all, we have the Mother of Cups. This is Venus of Wilderdorf, one of the original goddess iconologies here. Fertile, fecund. I think it means the same thing. But I like the word fecund, so I use it. Almost sounds like a curse, but it's not. And so this is the power of the feminine. It's the power of compassion. It's the mother energy, the Mother of Cups. Mother of Cups. Yes, it says Venus of Wildendorf. Let's see what's in the past. So you stand on your feminine power. That is your intuition. That is your feelings and your emotions. I know you have them, Aquarius. You might say, oh, no, I don't have those, but you do. We all do. In the past, we have the Mother of Swords. This is more to your liking. This is actually an Aquarius card. So you know your mind. What you're being asked to look at this month is your heart and your feelings, with the Queen of Cups at the bottom there. In the sky, we have the Magician. I've gotten this card a lot in all the decks. I've gotten this card maybe 3 times now. And this is about focused intention. This is about manifesting what you want to focus on. So it's important that you do focus on what you want to see in the world and not what you don't want to see. You can't focus on the things you have no control over. And so you need to put your power where it's going to be best served. Let's see, in the immediate future, we have strength. Yes, this is overcoming your carnal nature in some cases, but you have the strength to do it. This is located on the Tree of Life in the throat chakra. So it's about you speaking your truth, speaking from your heart, saying what you need to say. How people see you from the outside, this is cruelty. Some people are not going to like what you have to say. They're going to think you're being cruel, but if it comes from your heart, you're not being cruel. If it comes from your head, you can be cruel, because cruelty is a head thing. It's not a heart thing, and you're being asked to stand on your heart. So even if people complain that I don't like what you said, if it's coming from your heart, you don't have to worry about it. They're going to have to hear it on some level. In the domestic situation, we have the Ace of Cups. Well, isn't that lovely? See, so home is good. Home is good. You're in good stead. What's that expression? What other people think of you is none of your business. That's kind of a little bit of the vibe you're getting this month. Your hopes and fears is the Hierophant. You know, the Hierophant is listening to the small, still voice within, but the Hierophant is also traditional stuff. And if anybody doesn't like traditional stuff, it's Aquarius. So that could be what your fear is getting sucked back into the consensus. You'll never get sucked back into the consensus. Don't worry about it. It's not a problem. And the outcome, we have the Five of Pentacles. So there's some disappointment, maybe financial disappointment. It's not always easy to hold, to say what you need to say. But let's see what else comes up. Oh, and then we have the two of Pentacles. So we do have some disruption and disappointment. Let me just make sure. Oh, this is Cups. Okay, this is Cups. I'm sorry, that was Pentacles. I'm like, why? I'm saying Pentacles, but I don't see Pentacles. There's Cups. So this is disappointment, some sort of maybe thing that you were hoping that people would see, you were hoping that people would understand that you were coming from a heart place, but perhaps they haven't. But some have. Not everybody. Some people are not ready to hear it, but there are people who have. Probably less people are willing to hear it than not hear it. But it doesn't mean that you don't say it. We have the two of Pentacles here, harmony. And I'm just going to pick two more to see if we can get a major arcana. We have the Son of Swords. This can be the truth sayer. This is Osiris here. Let me just see what else comes up here. I'm going to get I want to get the whole picture here. And the Ace of Wands. Okay, so not everybody is going to be pleased with what you have to say, but there's going to be enough people who realize that what you're saying is the truth. And from that point, you can have a new beginning. So don't worry about that. Let's see what's underneath it. We have the Nine of Wands, which is power in this deck, oppression, and the Ace of Pentacles. So what this says to me is that you are going to state your case. Those in power are going to try to suppress you, but there is opportunity still. Opportunity to start something new, a new beginning based on a new set of values that you have. Excuse me. All of this very much feels like Pluto moving back into Capricorn. It's like we had Pluto move into your sign of Aquarius, and suddenly we saw the possibilities of the future. Now it's getting sucked back into Capricorn, and Capricorn's going to try to hold on to the power, but everything moves forward, so it's not going to be able to. So you may have to just sort of, duck a little, say what you need to say, then sort of get out of the firing line, so to speak. But ultimately, it's a new beginning. We have two aces here. And sometimes you have to go through the gauntlet before you can get to these aces, right? And so there may be a few gauntlet moments this month. But as I said, if you stand on your heart and your feelings, you're strong enough to do it. What is that expression? If not me, then who? And if not now, then when? It is time, Aquarius. It is time. All right, guys, have yourself. Remember, you have the Magician there. So this is success. You have success. You have success. You might just have to wait a little while. But what is that? Good things come to those who wait. So, all right. I hope you enjoyed that reading. Like and subscribe if you would. As I said, if you want to have a reading with me, there's a link below. If you want to join one of my classes, there's a link below. And if you want to support me, there is a Patreon. I do have a Patreon page. Otherwise, a like and a thumbs up and a share would be much appreciated. Until next month, I will see you again when we do the tarot scopes for the month of July for the sign of Aquarius. Say what you need to say. Take care, everyone. Namaste.